Hello, friends. Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Whitley, and today we are doing a book haul. We are going to go over all of the books that I have purchased so far this year. Not only that, though, this is just going to be a little show and tell because I have some things that I want to show you. So listen, April was kind of a retail therapy month. The vast majority of the books that I am looking at to my left, your right over here, I purchased in April. Listen, I've been being so good. I mean, not so good, but I've been doing pretty well. My husband and I are really trying to save up for a house. So we have been really trying to be strict with ourselves and our budget. And April was his birthday month. And I don't know what it was about buying him things, but I was like, ooh, that means I can get me some things. So again, April was a little bit of a retail therapy month. Not that I needed therapy. I mean, I always need therapy, but not that anything drastic was going on that I felt like I needed to curb my unhappiness with purchases. But I mean, it doesn't hurt. So when I saw that a brand was going out of business that I have had my eye on for so long, they sell purses and wallets. And obviously, if you're uninterested in bags, I will definitely timestamp this video so you can pick and choose what parts you want to watch. Their bags normally were $150, and I am not that girl to spend $150 on a bag. 50 is probably about my limit. And what do you know? Their bags were on sale. They're having a closing sale where all of their bags were $50. So I went a little crazy because they are going out of business and their designs are so cool. Anyway, the brand is Lettoria. So if you were interested, not that I'm a sponsor or partnered or anything, their designs are stunning. So I went a little crazy. I will leave the link down in the description. I'm sure that they still have some stock left. They're just trying to offload everything in their warehouse. And once it's gone, it's gone. But I have a bunch of books. And then I also have a Lettoria haul that I have to show you what I got. I went a little crazy, but I am set for bags because I get a little tired of my purse. I usually keep it for about 6 months. And then I'm like, okay, time to freshen it up. We need something new. So I'm set for a while and I'm so happy. What should we do first? Books or bags? Books or bags? Books or bags? I have a lot fewer bags than I do books. So let's do bags first. This brand is just so cool. All of their designs are gothic and bookish inspired. So, I mean, that's kind of why I didn't feel bad including it in this book haul, because a lot of these are literature-based artworks, and I'm obsessed. So the one that I went with first, the one that I am currently carrying, my daily carry right now, she is stunning. We have a bunch of gothic classics. And we have a quote here that says, "Beware, for I am fearless and therefore powerful," by Mary Shelley from Frankenstein. And it's just stunning. It's not perfect. The small straps could be a little bit longer. This crossbody strap is a little flimsy, but the artwork, stunning. And I love an open body bag like this. I like a tote bag, but my last purse was the first purse that I had like this, where it was just open in the bottom. And it didn't collapse in on itself, so I didn't have to hold it open to dig. Everything's just in there and I can see everything. And I love it. And I also had to get a few wallets because the wallets are on sale for $6 to $10. So we have my current carry, the Frankenstein wallet. Isn't that stunning? We have little Frankie here with a little flower, and it says, "I am malicious because I am miserable," by Mary Shelley. They have this design in a bag. All of these designs you can get in a wallet if they're still in stock. You can get a wallet, a bag, I almost got the bag of this design, but I was like, no, I'll just stick with the wallet. So this is my current carry wallet. I also got a few other bags. Okay, so this one, they're all. I'm obsessed. Anyway, we have the Call of Cthulhu. Isn't she stunning? It is so cool. Love. And then we have a couple of small wallets. I'll wait with that one because I got a matching bag. Okay, so we have the Poe Library wallet. Love. And the inside, if you're curious, just kind of looks like that. I like the bigger wallets better for sure. But I also have a little arm, like a little, it's not a fanny pack, but it's a small purse that goes in my big purse. And if I use that, I'm not using it right now because I have a bigger wallet that's like a wristlet. But if I do want to go back to using that, I'll use one of these smaller wallets, which is why I got them. So we have the Poe Library. And then this wallet, listen, I wasn't going to get this, but I was checking out. And since they're trying to move stock, they were like, hey, would you like a tote bag for like $15? And I was like, I mean, hell yeah, I would, sure. Because I wasn't going to get any tote bags, but I got this tote bag, The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. There are a couple of dedicated story Edgar Allan Poe designs, but The Telltale Heart is probably my favorite Edgar Allan Poe story. So I initially just got the wallet, but then they're like, hey, you want this tote bag for super cheap? I was like, yeah, I do. I'll take it. Yes, please. So I have the tote bag and the matching wallet. Stunning. And lastly, listen, I know this story. Did I have to Google this story? So I didn't look like an idiot if someone asked me about it. Yeah, I did. And no, I didn't know really anything about it before purchasing this bag. But this design, I could not pass up. It is Othello by William Shakespeare. Excuse me. Stunning. She's gorgeous. And then, oh no, I had one more wallet, which was like my favorite wallet. Where is she? In a memento. Okay, I found her. She fell out of the bag in my suitcase full of purses. But if they would have had a full-size bag with this design on it, I would have been first in line. But unfortunately, they were sold out of any of the bigger designs in this, so I had to settle for a wallet. But it is the picture of Dorian Gray. She's stunning. It's gorgeous. The skulls, the flowers, the two-faced Dorian Gray. And I actually have read this one. Stunning. This would be my main carry right now, but this one, for some reason, they decided to ship them in like 3 different shipments, and this was the last to arrive, and I was too impatient to wait for it, so I started carrying my Frankenstein. So I'll carry her for a few months and then switch to this baby because this is probably my favorite design that I got. But they're all so cute. I'm so obsessed. So if you like the Gothic literary designs, I will link Lettoria in the description. Highly recommend. And now, what you are all actually probably here for is the book haul. So, along with a little bit of a retail therapy month that last month was, I also made a discovery. I have discovered Pango Books. Pango Books is pretty much eBay, but strictly for books. It is other people selling their books. And I went a little crazy. So the majority of these books that you're going to see came from Pango because I discovered it and couldn't help myself. I went on a little bit of a bender. So anyway, the books that I have here, I have separated into a couple different categories. I have too many books to give you synopsises of all of these books. Maybe next time, maybe if I can, I don't know, like I don't want to post a book haul with like 3 books, which is usually about how many I buy in a given month or two. So Maybe we'll do seasonal, which is, I'm a little late to do a seasonal, but this is just like 2026 so far. But I have too many books here to go over synopsises. So what I'll do is just kind of tell you why I bought them and what little I may know about them, because most of the books that I purchase, I don't know the whole synopsis. I usually don't read the whole synopsis until I'm about to read it, or just not at all until after I'm done reading it. So I'll tell you just like a little bit about what I know about it and why I bought it. So the first category we have here, the first pile of books, are the books that I purchased because I have read and I have loved. It is my unattainable goal, probably, because I don't like to spend money on frivolous things. I mean, I say that, and I just purchased like dozens of books last month, but I usually don't like spending money. It gives me anxiety. So I usually don't buy a lot, but my goal is to own all of the books that I have ever given 4 or 5 stars. So discovering Pango and finding books on a little bit on the cheaper side, I got a couple more to add to that stack. So the first of which, we have The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King. I have The Queen of Nothing already on my bookshelf. I got it last year at my local used bookstore. I read and really, really enjoyed this series. The first one was a 4-star, and then I believe The Wicked King and Queen of Nothing were both 4.5. So I am so happy to be able to have the entire series in hardback. And then we have a couple of books from an author that has become absolutely an auto-buy author, one of my favorites. I have not gotten to his entire backlist yet, but they are on my list. It is Under the Whispering Door and In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I have read both of these. In the Lives of Puppets, 5 stars. Under the Whispering Door, still phenomenal, 4.5. This is a Pinocchio retelling of a world that does not have humans anymore. And our guy, the Pinocchio, I think, is like the last human on Earth, and he befriends some robots. And then Under the Whispering Door is kind of like a Christmas carol. This guy dies and finds himself in this midway purgatory, but it's just this little cozy cafe. Super cute. Really enjoyed both those. So very happy to add them to the collection. And then we have Eric LaRocca's Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. I have read Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, but I actually haven't read the And Other Misfortunes in this. So when I saw it at the used bookstore, everything else you've seen came from Pango. Got this at the used bookstore and knew I had to have it because I would love to reread Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. And then I would love to read The Other Misfortunes because I usually really enjoy Eric LaRocca's work. It's a little bit of a hit or miss with some of his stuff, but I am usually a big fan. And then we have a few more Pango purchases. We have The Soul Grows Heavy by Cassandra Call. This little novella is stunning. This little novella made me feel so much, and Cassandra Call's writing, the lyrical, poetic, but like disturbing writing in this, stunning. 5 stars. Her other book that I've read, Nothing But Blackened Teeth, was not a huge fan of. I don't know if that was her debut or not. I think it was, but I gave that one like a 2.5. Was not a fan, but this one, big win. Highly recommend. And then we have 2 of my favorite books from last year. We have Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. And look at these sprayed edges like a freaking movie reel. Stunning. So this is about a man that he and a bunch of his friends film a movie back when they were like teenagers in college, but the movie was never finished. It was never released because something catastrophic happened. And it becomes like kind of a cult classic on the internet. It becomes a legend. And in present day, they are wanting to remake the movie and they ask him to come be a part of it. And Chaos ensues. So strange, so weird. I loved it. I said my favorite books of last year. This was not read. This one I'm about to show you was not read last year. It was my first read of this year and my first 5-star, and probably still my favorite book I've read so far this year. It is When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. Truly, the less you know about this book going in, the better. The only thing that I'm going to tell you is that it follows a young woman who comes home one day from her waitressing job to find a small boy cowering in her bushes on the run from his monstrous father. And she kind of takes the little boy under her wing and tries to help him escape the chaos that follows this boy. Stunning. 5-star, like I said, favorite book, I think still, that I've read this year. And those are all of the books that I purchased because I read them and loved them. Next, we have 5 books that I purchased and have since read. And you may think that When the Wolf Comes Home falls into that category, but I read it and then bought it. These I bought and then read. First, we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This has been on my TBR for years, and I finally got around to it. It did end up being like a 3.5. I did enjoy it, but it wasn't one of my favorites, but I'm so happy that I read this because now I can move on to what's it called? Sunrise on the Reaping. A little bit of spoiler alert. You'll see in a moment. This one is a prequel to the original trilogy. This takes place during the 10th annual Hunger Games during President Snow's senior year in high school, as he becomes one of the first ever mentors to the tributes of the games. How many can I stack before she falls over? We're going to find out. Next, we have Game On by Navessa Allen. Another one of my favorite reads of the year. This is the 3rd installment in the Into Darkness trilogy, Lights Out being the first one, Caught Up being the second, and then Game On being the third, and I think final installment, unfortunately. This was so much fun. I adored these characters. I loved this book. I love Navessa Allen's writing style and her humor. And don't even get me started on her steam. My friend, this girl is a talent, and the audiobooks are phenomenal. If you haven't checked out this series and you like a definitely leaning darker rom-com, this series is phenomenal. Oh, and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Game On, I purchased full price, but I had a gift card. So I didn't actually pay anything for either of those. So we love that. And then the last 3 books that are in this category are books that I have read / am reading for a reading vlog that you're going to see next week. So I'm not going to go into how I liked these or my thoughts on them. You will have to wait till next week to find out. But the first one came from Aardvark. Can you guess what it is? It is Japanese Gothic by Kylie Lee Baker. I read Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang last year and adored it. So I knew I had to get her latest horror release. This follows 2 young people, a man in college who murders his roommate and then hides in a Japanese house behind a bunch of sword ferns. And then that is 2026. But then 1877, we follow a young woman samurai who is in exile and hiding from the government with her family in a house behind some sword ferns. And there is something about this house where their timelines are starting to bleed together and they start to be able to see each other. And that is all I'm going to tell you for now. So, Japanese Gothic. Next, we have another subscription box, the Book of the Month subscription. Can you guess what it is? It is Mulka by Monica Kim. I read The Eyes Are the Best Part last year and really enjoyed it. It wasn't quite as horror forward as I was expecting it to be, but reading that and kind of knowing Monica Kim's writing style now, I feel like I'm going into this one with a little bit more of a realistic expectation. And let me just read you the description of Mulka to kind of tell you what this is about. Molka is the Korean term for hidden or miniature spy cameras secretly and illegally installed, often to capture voyeuristic images and videos. So this follows a woman who is dating a pretty high profile man, and a video of them in the bedroom ends up leaked online, and he hightails it out of there to do some damage control. And she is left by herself to kind of deal with the aftermath of that. But we're also following a man that she works with who has implanted a bunch of cameras in the women's restrooms. Not going to tell you what I thought about it yet, but very happy to have it on my bookshelf because it's stunning. Sorry if the angle looks different. I had to get a new battery for my camera. And I also realized that I'm pretty sure I filmed the entire first half of that video with my mic off. So if the sound quality suffers because of that, I am so sorry. Anyway, the last book in this category is from an author that wrote my favorite book of last year. It is Fiji Drew's You Did Nothing Wrong. This is about a mother who has moved into a new house that needs a lot of remodeling with her new husband and her 6-year-old son. Her 6-year-old son doesn't really like the house, and it kind of scares him. And I think that there is something strange going on in the house. The son says that the house is like alive, and I just love this author's writing. It is so atmospheric and so beautiful and flowery and lyrical. And I have not read this one yet, so I am so excited to get into this one. Stay tuned till next week if you want to see my full in-depth thoughts. Stack 1, complete. Now we have another stack of books that I have purchased and have not read yet. So more books to add to my physical TBR because I definitely needed more of those. Okay, so these aren't really in any kind of order. So I'm just going to grab from the top and we're going to go from there. This first one here is a sequel. Have I read the first book in this series? No, but I am almost positive that I am going to absolutely love it. It sounds right up my alley. It is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I have Fourth Wing on my bookshelf. Have not read her yet, but when I was checking out from Pango, this person that was selling a bunch of books that I was already buying had this for like $6 or $7. I said, yeah, I'll go ahead and nab her. This is a fantasy romance series about dragon riders, and there's like a school or a war college. And that's really all I know about it, but that's really all I need to know about it. I am so excited to get into this series. I am a bit of a series binger, so I don't like to start series until they're completed. A detriment, I know. But I know that we have 3 out right now, but I don't know if there's going to be more than that. I'm pretty sure there is, which is the only reason I haven't started it yet. But at least now I have the first 2 for when I'm ready to dive into the series. Next, we have the start of another series, a series that I don't know how many books are in it. I think we have 4 out right now. I don't know if it's complete though, but it is Lightlark by Alex Astor. Truly, I don't know anything about this other than it has been hyped on TikTok. And I think I read a couple of quotes from it that had me like, yes, absolutely. Please, I need this. So let's see. Welcome to the Centennial. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for 100 days to host a deadly game. There's a game where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. Each ruler has something to hide. Each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves, their realms, one ruler will die. To survive, Isla? Isla Crown must lie, cheat, betray, even as love complicates everything. yeah, I knew it was a fantasy romance and it has been so hyped. I'm so excited. Again, series binger. I usually wait till the series is done, but this was already in the Pangoer shop that I was checking out at. So absolutely, I was going to nab this hardcover. Next, we have a couple of books from an author that I have read once, gave 5 stars, and then never read again, which is a vlog that I think I'm going to do hopefully soon, are reading books from authors that I read once, gave 5 stars, and then never picked up again for some reason or another. So I got a couple of options for that. It is Alison Cochrane. I got Kiss Her Once for Me, which is a Christmas sapphic romance, I believe. And then we have Here We Go Again, which is a road trip sapphic romance. And I read The Charm Offensive from this author and absolutely loved it. The Charm Offensive is a gay reality TV romance, and it was so much fun. I loved it. So I really wanted to check out more of Alison Cochrane's work. So we have 2 of those to add to the list. The next 3 books I have is a completed series. I am looking to start it hopefully soon because it's a completed series, so I can start it. And I have read from these authors before in the past and absolutely loved them. It is Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. The Aurora Cycle is the actual series name. And the Illuminae Files was phenomenal. I read that series a few years ago and absolutely loved it. So when I saw the completed series for on the cheap, I absolutely had to grab them in hardcover, no less. I know this is a sci-fi, like space opera adventure, and it's really all I know about it, but I am super excited to get into the series after loving the Illuminae Files so much. This pile feels a little bit more precarious. We'll see if we can make it through. Next, we have a couple of other romances. We have The Roommate by Rosie Danan. This, I believe, follows a woman porn star who moves in and has a male roommate. That's all I know about it. I heard about this book years ago, and it's been on my radar ever since, but I just haven't gotten around to picking it up yet. So I'm hoping actually having it on my shelf forces me to pick it up sooner rather than later. I actually don't know if she's a porn star, but I know this has something to do with like the sex work or porn industry, and it's a romance. So absolutely, sign me up. And then we have an author that I have read and loved before. I've never read anything from Rosie Danan, but I have loved Talia Hibbert. We have Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. Truly know nothing about this other than it's Talia Hibbert, and the cover is adorable. I absolutely adored the Brown Sister trilogy by Talia Hibbert, and I've been wanting to read more of her stuff. So when I saw this on Pango from a shop that I was already looking at for like $2, I said yes. Absolutely. I love her diverse characters, and usually they're a little bit on the plumper side, which I love as well. So very excited to give this one a try. I don't think this is part of a series or anything. I think it's just a standalone, which we love. Next, we have an author that we've already talked about. We have Cassandra Caw. We have The Dead Take the A Train by Cassandra Caw and Richard Kadrey. No idea who Richard Kadrey is, but this cover is stunning. This one was from my local used bookstore. I know that this involves some like eldritch cosmic horror monsters, but in like modern day New York City. I love a good urban fantasy, and this one mixing eldritch cosmic horror into it, say no more. I'm so excited. And I actually think this is a series or duology maybe, but I may be wrong on that. Unsure. And then we also have The Library at Hellebore by Cassandra Caw. And I got this stunning Evernight edition on Pango. Look at these edges and this cover. Obsessed. She's stunning. I know that this is a horror dark academia. There is a school that like has monsters and you just have to survive, which kind of reminds me of A Deadly Education, which I wasn't a huge fan of. So I'm hoping that I like this one more. But oh my gosh, the artwork. Evernight's editions are truly stunning. Oh my gosh. Savage. Gruesome. I'm so excited. I have been intrigued about this one ever since it came out. And I'm so happy to add this stunning edition to my bookshelf. And then we have a couple of Book of the Month books. We have Piranesi by Susanna Clark. This has been on my TBR for so long. I've heard it compared to like The Starless Sea. It's about Piranesi and he is locked in this house, this like mansion, but it's no ordinary house. It's like a maze. And there's like mythology elements to it. And I've heard nothing but good things about this the labyrinth that Piranesi is trying to make his way through. And possibly a movie or show is coming out about this, and I absolutely need to read it before that happens. So, Piranesi by Susanna Clark. Oh boy, she's teetering a little bit. And then we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I loved The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by this author. I've actually loved quite a few things by this author. The Vicious series I've also read and loved. I've heard it pitched as lesbian vampires. Say no more. Honestly, you had me at that. Ooh, we're actually following like different timelines. So we have a story about hunger in 1532, a story about love in 1827, and a story about rage in 2019. I am so intrigued. Like I said, I love V.E. Schwab's writing, so I cannot wait to get into her newest release. Oh, she's going. Oh, she's going. Yep, she going. Okay, sorry if the angle changed. Again, that battery also died. This battery only has 20%, so we have 5 more books left to talk about. Friends, let's get through it. We have Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Have not read this one yet, but so excited to get into it. This one follows Haymitch. It is also a Hunger Games prequel. What Hunger Games is this? I don't know. But from the tragedy that is Haymitch in the original trilogy, I know that this book is going to break my heart. Speaking of that, I'm thinking of doing a vlog of reading books that I think are going to make me cry. So the next few books that we're going to talk about are very high options for that vlog. Let me know if that is even a vlog concept that you would be interested in. I'm a pretty big crybaby. It does not take a lot to make me cry, especially in media, like for movies and books. So I'm curious to see if this is going to be one of them. We have this one. We also have an author that one of my favorite authors. I actually don't know if I can say that because I don't know if I've given her more than 2 5-stars. An author needs 3, either 5 or 4.5 stars to be considered a favorite. So I don't know if I can technically say that, but I love her writing nonetheless. I love her stuff. It is Taylor Jenkins Reid with Atmosphere. Another book that I've heard breaks people's hearts. The ending shatters them. This is a sapphic romance following NASA astronauts in the 80s. And I have heard nothing but amazing things. I have been loving sci-fi lately. I've been loving anything astronaut-y. So I am so excited to get into this one. And Taylor Jenkins Reid writes characters like no other. Her love stories are, I was going to say epic, but they're really not. They're just like everyday love stories, but she writes them in such a way that really makes them feel so special. I'm so excited. And the last book that I'm not sure this is the actual TBR for that vlog, but definite contenders. The last in the pile that I'm thinking about for that vlog is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I have read Circe. Absolutely loved it. I really love Madeline Miller's writing. I love mythology, especially Greek mythology. After being subjected and obsessed with Epic, the musical. I have been wanting to consume anything I can about Homer's literature. I haven't actually read the Iliad or the Odyssey, but they're so intimidating. I do want to read them, but they're so intimidating. And I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about this book. And I also got this stunning edition from Pango. Look at the sprayed edges. Right. Stunning. I love her. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. These are the epic sagas. Oh my gosh. Epic actually follows the Odyssey, and this I think is more the Iliad, but we follow Achilles during the Trojan War and Patroclus. I don't know, but it follows they are trained together, and it follows their love story. And I know that I don't know how it ends, but I know it ends in heartbreak. So another high contender for a book that I think might make me cry, and a stunning edition that I'm so happy to be adding to my bookshelf. This stack is not having it. I'm trying to counterbalance it, and she's not having it. Anyway, 2 more books. Another author that is in the running for one of my favorites. I'll have to, another vlog that I'm thinking about is testing authors to see if they can make it into a favorite. I think I've given this author 1 5-star for sure. And then I think a couple of 4 stars, but it is T. Kingfisher with A House with Good Bones. I love a haunted house story. It is one of my favorite tropes. And this is a haunting Southern Gothic that explores the dark, twisted roots lurking just beneath the veneer of a perfect home and family. That sounds so good. It kind of reminds me of the book I'm reading now, which is, I can never remember the name of that book. There's Nothing Wrong. You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. And I just eat up a haunted house story. And I've really enjoyed T. Kingfisher in the past. I think I've only read one of her horror. I've read The Hollow Places, but I want to devour everything this woman writes. Horror, fantasy, everything. So when I saw this on Pango from a shop that I was already buying from, and it was a couple bucks, I said, yes, absolutely. Add it to the cart, please. We're just going to pile that there, and it's fine. Lastly, we have an author who I have not read from before, but I've heard nothing but amazing things. And I've been really wanting to get into this author's works. Oh my gosh, this font is tiny. This font is tiny. Anyway, it is Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. Chuck Tingle has been iconic in the horror scene lately. I believe this follows a group of teens or a group of children that go to a conversion camp. Yeah, welcome to a God-fearing community with a heart of gold. Nestled high up in the mountains is Camp Damascus, the self-proclaimed most effective gay conversion camp in the country. I love an LGBTQ horror, especially with such prominent themes like a freaking conversion camp. The horror ideas are endless, and I'm so excited to see what Chuck Tingle does with this story. This is going to be my first Chuck Tingle, so I am very excited to see if his writing is going to be for me, and I'm very interested in a lot of his other books as well, but we'll start here. I believe this is one, I'm saying this out my ass, I don't even know, but I feel like this may be one of his older ones, because the ones that I've seen more of is Bury Your Gaze, and there was another new one that just came out as well, but I don't see this one a lot. So I'm excited to see what this one is about, but I don't see this one a lot. I'm excited to see what I think of this one. And that is it, friends. I have gone through 2.5 batteries, and I am so depressed. I can't believe my mic wasn't on for the first half of that video. I'm so sad about it. But anyway, these are all of the books that, let me fix this pile. Hold on. Okay. These are all of the books that I have hauled so far this year. Again, I usually don't haul this many books. Book hauls are not going to be a regular thing on this channel. I don't purchase that many books, and I do want, but my husband and I are trying to save for a house, and we have been really trying to, before we make a purchase, we ask, is this something we need? And I don't need books. I don't need to purchase the books to read them. And I don't know, I also don't want to fall into the consumerism trap of seeing people get shiny new books, even though it brings me so much joy. Like, it's not a waste of money because seeing them on my shelves brings joy to my life, and that is the return on investment. And I also really like annotating my books, and I can't do that with a library book, you know? So all of that little tangent to say, book hauls are probably not going to be a normal thing on my channel, but I did haul quite a bit last month and here and there throughout the year so far. So I wanted to show off my new purchases. Let me know down in the comments if you like book hauls, even if I don't have like stacks and stacks of books to show you, if you want book hauls to be a semi-normal thing, because I do usually purchase a couple a month. Maybe we can make it like a seasonal thing, or if you would prefer me to just kind of include what books I purchase in vlogs, that's an option too. That's kind of what I've been doing. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling because my camera's about to die again. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me. If you've made it this far, leave me the book stack emoji down in the comments, because we have quite the stack here behind me, the multiple stacks. This one, she couldn't even stand on her own. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are loving what you are reading lately. Continue to stay safe out there, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye, friends.
Before you go, then make me. You didn't think I'd be here waiting up all night, all night. I'm here to tell you something. There ain't another love that is gonna hold you down like mine.